Hi everyone! It's finally time for the answers to my Q&A. Thanks so much to everyone that asked a question, I really appreciate it. I'll be answering as many questions as I can in the video, so if your question wasn't answered, I either missed it or didn't have a good answer for it. I'll be organizing the questions by username. I'll answer each question once, so if a question is repeated by another user, I'll just skip over it. Alright, let's start. First question's from Becca, or reindog. Favorite MASH crossover ships / concepts? I'd say my favorite MASH crossover ships are Angel and Danielle and Buster and Tramp. I also gravitate towards Bambi and Rano and Thomas and Francis. I know these are pretty basic and common ship concepts, but they've always been solid pairings I like to fall back on or see in other people's editing. What's an animated movie you wish got more love in the editing world? Maybe The Land Before Time or Watership Down. I always get excited when I see them used in edits. What are some movies you've been wanting to see but haven't gone around to? Oh man, so many. First one that comes to mind is Malignant, even though I probably know more about it than I should. It looks like a fun time. There's some classics that have been in my watch list forever, like The Shining, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and American Psycho. I've also been meaning to see the documentary Ketty. I think I'd like it. Next up are pillowbug's questions. What's your favorite aesthetic? For photography, I'd say things with warm earth tones, naturalism, maybe some touches of vintage or antiquity. I also connect with clean, defined, minimalistic color block styles, particularly in illustration and design. Which part of the editing process do you enjoy the most? Which one do you struggle with the most? I'll start with struggles first. I really hate collecting footage and clips. If I know the movie or series well enough, this step's a little easier, but I just find it so tedious combing through hours of footage to grab all the scenes I need. My favorite part is pretty much everything else. If someone could provide me with a full timeline of raw footage, I'd have tons of fun working on timing, pan crops, effects, and text. For animash editing, I do love building interesting compositions with text, color, and masks, and trying to get them to move smoothly and on time. Favorite ice cream flavor? Love your work, by the way, so inspiring. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it. And oh man, it's hard for me to choose one. I'd say peanut butter or coffee flavored ice cream is my favorite, but I don't like anything too sweet. These questions are from Cranberry the cat. What got you interested in editing in the first place? When I was a kid, I would always create animated music videos in my head based off of just songs I would hear on the radio at the time. This was before I even knew editing was a thing. When I first started using YouTube regularly, I was maybe 10 or 11, and I watched a lot of Warrior Cats animations and original series with people's wolf OCs. If you know, you know. I think it was these videos that introduced me to AMVs with things like Gingadan Setsu Weed, Wolf's Rain, and Animash videos. This got me interested in editing because I realized I could edit a music video with an already existing series rather than trying to draw and animate on my own, which I was less interested in. Who are some of your inspirations in the Animash community? Oh, so many. Some of my Animash inspirations that come to mind are Kenai, Rylaroo, Donna Fava, Reverie, Mordum, Nadex, Theochka. Apologies if I pronounce anyone's name strangely. Weird thing about doing something like this is having to say names I've only ever read out loud, so sorry. Which character do you edit with a lot? Do you have a specific character or characters that resonate with you? I've noticed I edit a lot with Bambi, Scamp, Angel, and Lady. I think it's because I really enjoy the character animation of those characters, and they just happen to fit with the vibe of the song I'm editing to. What's your favorite color or color combination and why? Love your work. Thank you so much. I really love your work too. I'd say my favorite color right now is a warm rust color, or like an orangey amber. I'm also pretty into yellows and color combos like this. Next is from Bloodhush. What's your favorite cartoon and why? Right now my favorite cartoon is definitely Infinity Train. It's a mystery adventure series on HBO Max about different passengers who are trapped in an endless train, and they encounter all kinds of interesting worlds in each car, and it deals with some pretty complex and intense themes, and the characters really stuck with me, and I just love how unique it is. What's one message you try to remember from a cartoon and apply to your daily life? This might be cheesy, but the first thing that came to mind was Steven Universe's Here Comes a Thought. Thinking about that song has genuinely made me feel better when I felt overwhelmed. If you could pick one movie to rewatch in theaters, what would it be and why? The first one that comes to mind is The Favorite from 2018. I remember seeing trailers for it in theaters and thinking about how I wanted to see the full thing in theaters too, but I ended up being on vacation or something while it was available, and it left theaters pretty quickly. I did watch the movie at home eventually, and it is a favorite of mine, but I'm still sad I missed out on that. Another one that comes to mind is Interstellar from 2014. It seems like a great one to have seen in theaters. Least favorite Animash ship? Man, that's a hard one. I don't think I feel any particularly strong negative feelings for an Animash ship. If I had to choose, maybe Zira and anyone other than Scar. And this is mostly because I feel her design and animation clashes a lot with other characters. I don't know. That's a hard question. What's your favorite place to go in New York and why? My favorite place to hang out in the city is like the Lower West Side, like West Village, Greenwich Village, the Chelsea area. I love the High Line, Hudson Piers, the Whitney's also around there. Lots of good food, scenery, and it's like a little quieter than other areas in the city. If you could change one thing about where you live, what would it be? I would want there to be less people. So many damn people in New York, oh my gosh. It really overwhelms me sometimes. And also, it's so damn expensive to live here. I'd want to change that too. Who is one person you are thankful for in your life? Man, I'm thankful for so many people in my life. I'm just filled with so much love for my friends and family and my buddies online. You're all amazing. These are from The Wisest Dino. Do you have a fave/least fave Animash movie? I would say my favorite Animash movies to watch are Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, and Oliver and Company. And my favorites to edit with are Lady and the Tramp 1 and 2, Bambi 2, and Oliver and Company. As for least favorite, my least favorite to watch would be Fox and the Hound 2, and my least favorite to edit with would be Please Don't Kill Me, The Lion King. I know, cursed Animash opinion. I just don't have a lot of nostalgic connection to it, and I get kind of tired seeing it used so much in the community. Sorry, I have to live my truth. Any movies that you would consider a must-see? I'd say Mad Max Fury Road and Jennifer's Body, two ultimate faves of mine that I feel are fairly accessible and just a lot of fun to watch. Do you have a fave video that you have made? Some of my fave videos I've made are I Am the Girl That I Thought I Outgrew, Crazy for Your Love, Talks Like an Angel, No Lover, and Hold On Sailor. What's your graphic design pet peeve? Design pet peeves. I'd say when people are not conscious of their negative space and maybe use fonts or design elements that are too big or too many elements that just clash. Not giving their design enough room to breathe. Negative space is so important, and using effectively can really complement whatever design you're making. And overcrowding and less structured layouts can be super impactful, but more often when it's clear that that was the intention of the design. Next are from Anemoia. Favorite quote from any movie/show? A current favorite quote of mine is "To be underestimated is an incredible gift," said by Jack Rackham from Black Sails. This is a quote I can really personally resonate with. Also, I just love Jack to death. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? In 10 years, I see myself probably living in my own apartment, maybe in Queens or in Brooklyn, probably still working in graphic design, but maybe dabbling more in motion graphics or UX design. Hope I'll have a cat and a good group of friends around me. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? I actually really like where I live, so I'm not sure I'd live anywhere too far from where I do now. I love having easy access to beaches and nice nature, but still being a short commute away from the city. Next, lucymp asks, what's your favorite place you've ever traveled to? That's a hard one. I'll name a few because it's hard for me to choose. Nassau, Bahamas was amazing. I love beaches so much, so this was paradise for me. The sand was so white and soft, and the water was stunningly aqua and warm. The food was delicious. Also, there were a lot of feral cats where I stayed, so I loved seeing them every day. Greece was another favorite place, specifically the seaside town of Halkida. Again, super beautiful waterfront views. I haven't traveled much to Europe at all, so I love the architecture and the patio dining outdoors, the open air markets, and the historical ruins. They also had many local cats living in the town. You can see this is a running theme for me. If you could do editing as a career, would you? I'm not sure I would. I actually find editing fairly tedious if I'm working on a project for someone else. I could see myself doing something closer to motion graphics in the future, kind of a combination of graphic design, editing, and animation. What's your favorite animal, favorite dog breed? Okay, does anyone want to take a guess what my favorite animal is? It's a cat. Big surprise, I know. As for favorite dog breed, I'd say Borzoi or Silken Windhound, which is basically just a mini Borzoi. I also love Dobermans. Have you seen Sex Education and are you excited for season 3? Oh no, this is revealing how long ago I posted the original Q&A video. I have not seen Sex Education, so no. I have no particular feelings towards the new season. Nothing against the show, I was just never interested in it. And these questions are from Bash or Reverie. If you could script your own Animash/Disney movie, what kind of concept would you use? I'd like to see something involving cats. I feel like we haven't gotten a cat main character or main cast in years. They usually fall into a sidekick or villain role, and I'd love to see something involving a cat colony, maybe in a city setting or a forest setting, and now I'm just describing warrior cats. It always comes back to warriors. What general style of editing do you enjoy seeing the most? I have a pretty broad range of styles I gravitate towards, but for effects-heavy styles, I like dynamic typography and movement, interesting compositions and maskings. For raw styles, I prefer subtle type or no type at all, and strong scene choices and timing that complement the song. If you could be sucked into any book, movie, TV series, which one would you be in and why? Kind of a basic answer, but I'd like to exist in the world of Call Me By Your Name. I'm not really interested in knowing the characters, but I'd love to live in that idyllic Italian summer world. The movie just really transports you to that place with its visuals and sound editing and really makes me want to experience it myself. Next is Maru. Why is Duchess the character you use to represent yourself? I think that's what she's for, right? Yes, Duchess is my Animash persona, and the reason why is pretty uninspired. The answer is basically that she's a cat, and I like cats. She was a female cat Animash character that had a substantial amount of scenes I could work with. I don't particularly relate to her character's personality or anything deeper than that. These are from Leo. Fave editing style, I've answered this. 2D or 3D movies when it comes to editing and why. I prefer 2D animation for editing because I feel like it lends itself better to a variety of different experimental styles, whereas I think 3D has some limitations, similar to live action editing, where some styles of editing and effects just don't work as well. 2D has more flexibility for style and effect experimentation in my experience. Why do you like animesh editing? I like animesh editing because it has so many possibilities for interesting art making. While multi-fandom editing is typically harder to disconnect from its source material or story context, animesh can be really broad, and I feel like you can create more unique and experimental things with it. A lot of the time animesh is more about repurposing the animation aesthetics into something completely new, so it's really refreshing and it keeps me feeling inspired. One thing you love about the animesh community. So while I've been editing animesh since about 2010, I've only become more active socially in the community since about 2017 or 18. And I have to say, I love it so much. It's been so fun to interact with groups of other people who share your love for this niche little form of editing and have similar tastes in art and animation. I also feel significantly more inspired to try new things and just create more videos when I interact with others in the community. Seeing others create exciting things motivates me to make things too. Your all-time favorite character and why? My all-time favorite character, just in media in general? I would have to say it's a close tie between Will Graham from Hannibal and James Flint from Black Sails. They're both so complex and their stories really impact me in different ways. I love Will's internal struggle with himself and his inner darkness, and the conflict that comes from finding understanding and connection with Hannibal. Flint is another amazing character. I find his drive to change society and reject the rules of civilization that would outcast or persecute marginalized people really inspiring. And yet he's still really complex, and his story doesn't shy away from showing us his darker tendencies and problematic decisions, even when his greater intentions are just. And just the portrayal of his queer rage and survival is really powerful to me. Eolyeoum asks, what are your favorite crossover ships? I've answered this. What type of music do you like to edit with the most? My taste is pretty broad, but I'd say I like to edit with energetic, upbeat songs or songs with lyrics that I find impactful, and basically anything with a good rhythm. Sorry, that was such a subjective answer, but yeah. What part of editing do you dislike the most? What inspired you to open an animesh channel? I've answered these two. Do your friends and family know that you're editing these kinds of videos? How do they feel about it? I'd say most of them know I edit, but very few of them actually watch my videos or understand the details. I'm open to talking about my channel or edits I'm working on, but most of my family and friends just see it as, oh, those little videos that Jess makes. Funnily enough, my biggest supporters in my personal life are my best friend Mel, shout out to Mel, and my senior designer at work. Even though he's a fully adult man who definitely doesn't completely understand it, he's seen some of my videos and is always curious and interested to know about projects I'm currently working on. Speaking of, Mel says, why are you so damn perfect? Thank you, Mel. Love you. These questions are from Reptivy. What's something you'd like to see more of in horror? I'd like to see more animals and cool monsters in horror. I'd also like to see more gay characters and storylines. Two pretty on-brand answers for me, I'd say. Have you ever considered remaking one of your old videos? If yes, which one? Oh yes, definitely. One video I've wanted to remake for so long is Ghost Train from 2013, and I plan to in the future, even though I have been saying I would for years now. Favorite completed MEP you've participated in? Oh, what a fun question. Some of my favorite MEPs I've been in have to be Songs I Can't Listen To by Kenai, Conquest of Spaces by Lev, Lemon Boy by Iconic MEPs, Paper Rings by Alternative Bliss, Have It All by Paradox MEPs, and Level of Concern by Venomous MEPs. Not really a question, but chancegiven says, how are you so talented? Thank you, Chance, I appreciate it. funkyyfairy asks, what's your absolute fave movie? My two favorite movies are Mad Max Fury Road and Annihilation. When did you start editing and why? What's your favorite edit you've uploaded on here? I've answered these. Next is bubbink pinle. What's your favorite animesh video? I actually have a playlist of favorite animation videos, which I can link below, but some of my all-time faves are Say Goodnight and Go by White Leo Lynx, I Don't Need a Parachute by Vinka, Rumors by Troublemaker Studios, Easy by Kenai, Double-Sided by Fire Moon X, and Miss Americana by Rush Apart. Anthony Edits asks, how'd you meet the animation community? I've answered this. What editor do you use? I use Sony Movie Studio, which is essentially a cheaper, bare-bones version of Vegas, and on occasion I'll use After Effects for very minor things, but I'm still learning the program and it doesn't run very well on my computer. aserxh asks, how would you describe your style? I'm not really sure how I'd describe my style because I feel like it's pretty diverse and kind of inconsistent. Like, it really fluctuates depending on the song and mood I'm going for. Best and worst things about your style. I'd say my typography and movement and flow is the best, and the worst is maybe that I run out of steam when making long videos and can rarely add all the effects I initially envision. It's hard for me to make fully realized videos that are full length. Any ideas for your future videos? Oh, I have so many ideas that I'd like to make in the future. I have a note on my phone where I just collect all of them and brainstorm. There's about 30 concepts in there currently, but we'll see how many actually get made. I'll periodically remove old ones and add new ones. Yeah, so many ideas, not enough time to make them. What's the reason for your name? The origin of my username is also not very deep. I wanted a username that was cat-related, and I wanted something that was available across multiple social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, etc. My first attempt was catgfs, or cat girlfriends, but that was not available on Tumblr or Twitter at the time, but catbfs, or cat boyfriends was, so that was that. Alright, that's the last of the questions. Thank you guys so much for asking them, it really means a lot. Thank you for watching and hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!